Picture this. You're in Game 4 of the NBA Finals. You're exhausted and the noise in the arena is deafening. You glance up at the scoreboard, and you're down 3-1. Across from you stands the greatest regular season team ever, a team that won 73 games, a team led by the first unanimous MVP in league history. You can feel the weight of history pressing down on your shoulders. No team has ever come back from this, and the entire world is waiting for you to fail. That was LeBron James in June of 2016. His legacy hangs in the balance. Another finals loss would have meant 5 trips to the biggest stage and only 2 rings to show for it. The critics had their stories written, and the Warriors were ready to celebrate. Over the next 3 games, LeBron James rewrote basketball history and orchestrated possibly the greatest comeback in all of sports. He erased doubt, defied logic, and cemented his legacy. This is the playoff series where LeBron James became the greatest of all time. Now, before we get to the finals, we need to understand how both teams got there. In the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers finished first. LeBron James once again led the way, putting up 25 points, 7 rebounds, and nearly 7 assists a night. It was his 13th season, and yet he was still the best player in the world. Beside him, young star Kyrie Irving was coming into his own. Shifty handles, tough shot making, averaging just under 20 a game. This was supposed to be the year Cleveland finally broke the curse. Meanwhile, out west things were different. The Golden State Warriors were winning almost every game. They finished the season 73-9, the best record in NBA history. Every night felt like a show led by the greatest shooter ever. Steph Curry, the first unanimous MVP, was playing out of his mind. He averaged 30 points a game, hit an insane 402 threes, and shot nearly 45% from deep. They made basketball look effortless, like they'd already won the championship before the playoffs even started. The Cavs were hungry, the Warriors were historic, and everything was about to collide on the biggest stage in basketball. The opening game of this iconic finals felt like classic Golden State basketball. For most of the night, it was close. Cleveland was right there, trading buckets, matching pace, staying within a single point deep into the second half. But then the Warriors reminded everyone who they were. They flipped the switch and Golden State exploded with a 29-9 run, turning a tight contest into a blowout. Every loose ball, every rebound, every momentum play, it all suddenly swung their way. Cleveland tried to claw back, but every time they made a push, the Warriors had an answer. Back-to-back threes from the Splash Bros shut the door. This was the Warriors' depth on full display. Their bench outscored the Cavs' bench 45-10, a 35-point difference that broke the game open. LeBron and Kyrie did everything they could, but Golden State's balanced attack was simply too much in Game 1. Game 2 followed the same script as Game 1. Except this time, the Warriors didn't wait until the second half to take control. Cleveland actually had a 4-point lead midway through the second quarter, but against this Warriors team, a 4-point lead might as well be nothing. Golden State could erase a deficit or build a lead faster than any team we'd ever seen. And right on cue, the avalanche came. The Warriors exploded on a 20-2 run, flipping the entire game in a matter of minutes. And once that wave started, there was no stopping it. They carried that momentum straight through the second half and never looked back, cruising to a 33-point win. And look, I don't know if Steph loaned Draymond some of his shooting powers for the night, but Draymond Green dropped 28 points and hit 5 threes, turning into the third Splash Bro when Cleveland could least afford it. Golden State was doing exactly what the rest of the league feared they would do: dominate. These first 2 games set an NBA Finals record, a 48-point combined win margin. The Cavs and LeBron were getting dismantled. Game 3 was a must-win. The beautiful thing and the brutal thing about the NBA is how quickly everything can change. One night you can get absolutely destroyed, and the next night, you can be the one doing the destroying. In Game 3, the Cavaliers flipped the entire script. Back in Cleveland, something changed. The energy returned. The confidence felt high. From the opening tip, it felt different. The Cavs jumped out to a 9-0 run, and for the first time in this series, Golden State looked unsettled. Every time the Warriors tried to make a push, Cleveland answered instantly and with force. At the center of it all was LeBron James. This was the first game in the finals where he truly took control of everything, pacing the offense, dictating the tempo, and setting the tone. He finished with 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists, playing like a man who refused to go down quietly. Right behind him, Kyrie Irving, who added 30, 4, and 8, carving up the Warriors shot after shot. Together, the duo reminded the world that the Cavaliers weren't going away. Cleveland stayed afloat with this win, but even after the blowout, everyone knew one thing: the Warriors weren't leaving Cleveland without trying to take one back. Game 4 was the night the two-time MVP finally reminded everyone exactly who he was. Up to this point, Steph Curry had been quiet, averaging just 16 points over the first 3 games. But on this night, he exploded. Curry put on a vintage MVP performance, 38 points, 7 threes, and a level of shot-making that felt downright unfair. The same way LeBron had seized control of Game 3, Steph seized control of Game 4. Every time Cleveland made a push, Curry hit a dagger that sucked the life out of the building. Klay Thompson dropped 25 of his own and knocked down 4 threes, as the Warriors did something no team in NBA Finals history had ever done. They made more threes than twos in a game. This was the revolution in real time. Spacing, pace, shooting, the Warriors living and dying by the 3. It was the closest game of the series, but Golden State held strong and walked out with the win. And just like that, the Warriors were up 3-1, one victory away from the perfect ending to a 73-win season. One win from history. At this point, the series felt over. The momentum, the confidence, the narrative, all of it belonged to Golden State. But then something happened. In the final minutes, things got chippy. LeBron and Draymond Green got tangled up, emotions flared, words were exchanged, and Draymond, who was already one flagrant point away from suspension, took the bait. The game ended, but the tension didn't, because now the entire basketball world waited for one question. Would Draymond Green be suspended for Game 5? The day before Game 5, the news finally broke. Draymond Green's foul was upgraded. His suspension was official. Suddenly, the Warriors, the 73-win juggernaut, were heading into a close-out game without the heart of their defense and the engine of their offense. It was the first crack in their armor, and LeBron James sprinted right through it. Game 5 was a win for the Cavs, and the night LeBron James delivered one of the greatest performances in finals history, simply because he had no other choice. Down 3-1 on the road, facing elimination, LeBron went nuclear. 41 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists. He attacked the rim with fury, orchestrated the offense with precision, and played defense like a man who refused to let his legacy die. And right beside him, Kyrie Irving delivered a masterpiece of his own, 41 points, making them the first teammates in NBA Finals history to drop 40 in the same game. With Draymond out, Golden State tried to hold on, but LeBron was everywhere. He was the best player on both ends of the court, possession after possession, imposing his will on the greatest regular season team ever assembled. But even after this historic performance, the mission wasn't close to finished. The Cavs still needed 2 more perfect games, and one mistake, one cold quarter, one bad bounce could end everything. Meanwhile, the Warriors were convinced that once Draymond returned for Game 6, order would be restored. They believed the series was still theirs. But Game 5 changed something deeper. It opened the door, and it gave LeBron James the spark he needed to attempt the impossible. If you ever needed proof that momentum is real, Game 6 was your evidence. From the opening tip, Cleveland played like a team that believed the impossible was possible. The Cavs came out blazing, punching Golden State in the mouth with a 31-11 first quarter. The building was shaking. The Warriors looked stunned. LeBron James, once again playing the greatest basketball of his life. For the second straight game with his season on the line, LeBron delivered another masterpiece. 41 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds, 4 steals, 3 blocks. 2 straight 40-point elimination games. 2 straight nights where he dominated every inch of the floor. This was all-time clutch, the kind of performance legends are built on. In the second half, LeBron went on a personal scoring rampage, 18 straight points, completely breaking the Warriors' rhythm and refusing to let the Cavs' season end. Golden State tried to respond. The Splash Brothers hit big shots, kept the game within reach, and threw everything they had at Cleveland, but it didn't matter. Not tonight. Not against this version of LeBron James. Cleveland took Game 6, 115-101, and suddenly the series was tied, 3-3, 1 game left, everything on the line, and here's where the pressure flipped. The cracks within the Warriors were obvious. The frustration was boiling. Late in the fourth quarter, Steph Curry fouled out for the first time in his finals career, and he snapped. He threw his mouthpiece into the crowd and was ejected, a moment that felt symbolic. The calm, confident Warriors were gone. The greatest regular season team ever was unraveling. Meanwhile, Cleveland walked off the court with confidence they hadn't felt all season. LeBron had just delivered back-to-back masterpieces, dragging the Cavs from elimination to the brink of history. In 3 days, Game 7 awaited, the biggest night of LeBron James's career. 2 legendary performances behind him, one last chance in front of him. If he completed this comeback, he'd become the player who did what no one else ever could. Everything came down to this. Months of work, sacrifice, and pressure condensed into 48 minutes. One team would walk out as champions, the other would leave with a scar they'd never forget. And from the opening tip, it was clear this was going to be a battle for the ages. Game 7 was a heavyweight fight, 20 lead changes, 11 ties, and no momentum lasting more than a few possessions. Cleveland edged out a 1-point lead after the first quarter, but Draymond Green came out firing. He was perfect from the field early, then exploded in the second quarter with 15 points on 4 for 4 shooting from deep, giving Golden State a 49-42 halftime lead. With only 24 minutes left in their season, the Cavs were staring at a 7-point deficit that felt a lot bigger than it looked. But as they had all series, Cleveland fought back. LeBron struggled from the field but orchestrated the offense brilliantly, tallying 5 third-quarter assists, while J.R. Smith knocked down huge shots to keep the game close. Kyrie Irving took over stretches of the quarter as well, scoring 12 and keeping Cleveland within striking distance. Still, Golden State held firm, entering the fourth with a razor-thin 76-75 lead. It was everything a Game 7 was supposed to be: tense, brutal, and impossibly close. The fourth quarter became a defensive war. Both teams tightened up, every shot felt like life or death, and the scoring dried up. With under 5 minutes left, the Warriors simply stopped answering. They went scoreless for the final 4 minutes and 39 seconds, and the Cavs hung on by sheer force of will. Then came the moment that changed NBA history. With the game tied at 89 and less than 2 minutes remaining, LeBron James sprinted the length of the floor and delivered the single greatest defensive play the finals have ever seen: the block. What looked like a guaranteed Andre Iguodala layup and possibly a championship-sealing basket was erased by LeBron's superhuman chasedown. It was the defining moment of a career built on defying the odds. But even that didn't end it. The game was still tied until Kyrie Irving stepped into immortality. With 53 seconds left, he drilled a go-ahead 3 over Curry, the biggest shot of his life, giving Cleveland a 92-89 lead. Golden State still had a chance, but Kevin Love smothered Curry on the next possession, forcing a desperate miss. LeBron then attacked the rim and nearly ended the series with a dunk before being fouled hard. He hit the crucial free throw, putting Cleveland up by 4 and sealing one of the most improbable comebacks in sports history. LeBron James finished with 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists, becoming just the third player ever to record a triple-double in a Finals Game 7. He also became the first player in NBA history to lead both teams in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks in a series. No player had ever done what he just did. No team had ever come back from 3-1 in the finals. This was the night LeBron James cemented his legacy. This was the night many fans stopped debating and started believing. This was the night LeBron became the GOAT in the eyes of millions.